What an amazing green day we have right in front of us right here. Markets starting off on such a positive note. The week has started off, really nicely. As we can see, green across the board. Multiple coins up right now, which is amazing to see as always. If you're looking at XRP up about 4.2%, let's talk about what's happening and see what we could be expecting. Of course, a lot of news to cover, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So if you're looking at XRP's price, $3.08, up 4.2% in USD, up 3.3% in Bitcoin comparative. The valuation was able to make its way back above 180 billion, to be exact, 182.5 billion dollars, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 5.3 billion dollars. But before I get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrency. So Donald Trump posted this. So President Trump says there will be many more days like this after the US stock market adds over $1 trillion just today itself. So as the market opened, guys, we saw $1 trillion added to the valuation of the entire stock market. And that tells you how big of a deal this really is. And this is what Donald Trump says: good day in the stock market, but there will be many more days like this. America is very rich again and stronger than ever before. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So remember, September, a lot of people are anticipating a potential rate cut, but crypto market also reacting in a really, really positive way, alongside with the traditional market. But remember this now, just today itself, September rate cut odds surged to 90%. And the likes of a lot of these big institutions are actually projecting a rate cut of 25 BPS. Of course, some people are saying, it should be 50 BPS, 75 BPS, a full percent. But we don't know that. I think 25 BPS to start off would make sense, but you could see 90% people think that the rate cut will happen this time around. And I think timing is everything, and we are setting ourselves up perfectly in terms of timing aspect. If this rate cut happens, I think this would be really bullish for the crypto markets in general. And look at this: Circle IPO success inspires wave of crypto firms to consider going public. Analysts say public listings could boost mainstream adoption, not bad thing for altcoins. So exactly what your boy Crypto ZX has been talking to you guys about for quite some time. We're seeing a global shift taking place, and you're going to see crypto firms, taking advantage of this, because I think this is going to be a boom, but I don't think it's going to obviously last long term. Not all these companies that do go public are going to be here long term, but I think they're definitely going to take advantage of this specific, hype factor that's really coming in, going public, and of course, Circle the types of, return that the IPO, like if anyone got in at the IPO, the types of return people have got has a lot of people talking, and I think a lot of firms are paying attention to. So I'm not surprised at this fact, and I do personally project more and more crypto firms will go public, but we need to understand not all of them are going to be, the revolutionary ones. Only a few will, and this just gives me more hope for what the Ripple IPO is going to look like. I think it is going to be the biggest IPO in my personal opinion, for a crypto firm. I think it's going to even outpace Coinbase big time. But again, that's my own personal opinion. Only time will tell. Do let me know your thoughts down below regarding this. But Bitcoin demand remains strong per crypto. Quant accumulation is rising. OTC supply is failing. Not failing, falling, and long-term holders are still buying. And these long-term holders this time around, a lot of people forget, yes, before it was whales, maybe a few small businesses that were accumulating, but now we're talking about big billion, if not trillion-dollar asset managers coming on board, big hedge funds coming on board. Everyone wants to accumulation. So, where we talk about that 4-year cycle no longer, in play. This gives me that understanding. This makes me kind of realize, what? If you look at it from that perspective, maybe the 4-year cycle no longer exists for BTC itself. 90% of the altcoins are still, 98% of the altcoins are still going to be impacted. The ones that have strong utility, the ones that have that regulatory compliance aspect to it, maybe the ones that get the ETF, I think maybe those will kind of shift away from the 4-year cycle. But let's not get that twisted, though. 98% of the overall market is still going to react to the bear market, in my honest opinion. Do let me know your personal thoughts down below, of course, as to what's happening. But again, these things we don't really want to be overlooking. But take a look at this. The CFTC is launching an initiative to explore trading spot crypto assets contracts on CFTC's regulated exchanges and is seeking public feedback. It's part of the agency broader crypto sprint announced last week by the chair, Caroline Pham. So again, big stuff happening in terms of that. We talk about mass adoption, we talk about regulatory clarity. This right here is perfectly right in front of us. And shout out to Smoke, says Ripple will ultimately sneak XRP into the banking mainframe through special, purpose national bank charter. So read closely. Interestingly, there is a mad rush by non-depository financial technology companies, crypto companies engaged in the business of banking, Ripple to Circle to Wise to BitGo towards, procuring special purposes national bank SPNB. Charter in the USA, which would allow these firms, essentially crypto companies, to sneak into the mainstream, time frame banking while bypassing intermediary banks. All this will stamp of legitimacy over the years of alleged regulatory sidelines. I'm talking too fast. When I start talking too fast, I can kind of start missing some words. But thank you for understanding. I know a lot of people understand that Crypto ZX does tend to talk too fast when he's excited. So appreciate everyone that has patience. But anyhow, let's continue. So shout out to Mr. Mann, says, according to the Genius Act, the Treasury is offering a 3-year grace period for all USD stablecoins. The digital asset service provider will, at this point, should they not comply with the regulations set forth, they can no longer use quote unquote USD in their stablecoin offering if they are non-compliant. RLUSD is going the full distance as Ripple applied for their national charter license. I've provided the architecture structure of the legal model in the last image, and of course we've discussed this in the past. You're already starting to see this happening. Stable coins are at the forefront, and the ones that are going to survive are the ones that have that clarity, regulatory compliance approval, and of course RLUSD checks all those boxes. And take a look at this. Paul Atkins says, we will make sure the next chapter of the financial innovation is written right here in America. So this is a highlight video if you want to watch. It is on Paul Atkins' X account. But look what Stewart says. Chair Atkins knows that the prior administration pushed crypto companies offshore. He's now focused on clear, tailored standards and drawing firms' lines to curb SEC overreach. Totally agree with that. And kind of goes back to even the incentive. What kind of incentive could they bring to, these big companies that want to obviously build in the US, because of course they could still offshore, and I'm pretty sure they have something in the pipeline where you do see some sort of an incentive for these crypto companies to really thrive and make America the US capital, which is already starting to happen. So again, big things happening which a lot of people overlook, but we don't want to be overlooking this. And look at this. The development comes on the heels of the growing institutional interest in XRP globally, and this is with the SBI. We're going to kind of go over this to really talk about what's happening. As previously reported, the Ontario Security Commission approved the launch of 2 spot XRP ETFs in Canada in June. In the US, where the SEC has approved the launch of several Bitcoin-only spot ETFs, more than 10 asset managers are seeking to roll out a similar product for XRP along with some of the other coins. So now Ripple, long-standing partner SBI Japan, is seeking to launch a basket ETF, comprising XRP and Bitcoin and another product tied to BTC and gold. Notably, SBI expects that Japanese financial service agencies' latest efforts to treat cryptocurrencies as legitimate financial instrument to influence approval of the ETF. So it's not just happening within the US, it's happening globally, and it's right in front of us. But now let's talk about what's happening with the price. The dominance is doing exactly what we want to see. As the start of the week, beautiful stuff happening with the dominance. This is so important to note, and we are below our May lows, which was around the 61.9%. So I love what I'm seeing here for the dominance. And as far far as BTC is concerned, Bitcoin did break above the $115,000. We actually came up to 115,700, but never really managed to stay above that range. Again, we do have some resistance around that range, but we're still above 115. So far, so good. But we want to see that daily candle close happening above 115, which would give me more hope for us to see some more upside. But if you're looking at XRP here, XRP did something amazing as well. So, we broke above that key resistance at the $3 price point, which of course we anticipated in my last update. And right now, you are starting to see the price of XRP pushing back up to some of the other time frames. Let's actually take a look at what's happening with XRP on the hourly. So you can see this for yourself. We do have some resistance coming in our way around the $3.10, I believe. Yeah, $3.10, exactly around that. If this is able to break out, remember, I told you guys $3.18 is the next target, and I think that could be reclaimed quite easily if we're able to, bounce out of this range. So, so far so good. Really liking what I'm seeing here with XRP, and gonna take it one step at a time. Do let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.